have an opportunity to attract a new business, that's what you're in economic development for. You hate to lure people away from other cities because it's not a net gain to the economy. So what you really like is when there's an expansion like this, a brand new enterprise.
There were a couple factors that worked in our favor. One was they wanted to make sure that their new plant location replicated some of the amenities that their employees and supervisors had in Boulder, Colorado. So they looked for another similar-sized college town that had some first-class amenities that you typically only find in larger cities, but they were also impressed with our commitment to diversity and with the culture that we had here. And that made me so proud to know that a company came here 5 years ago, and without anybody knowing they were here, we were able to show them what a welcoming community Columbia was.
There were several deciding factors, but I have to say that the first one for me was I felt that there was a cultural fit, the people who live and work here with the people who live and work with us in Colorado. I thought it would be very nice for these teams to work together, and that was really the number one reason.
We had the foresight to buy the Suter site. It was 100 acres, and we thought at the time we'd probably have 2 or 3 deals to sell that land off, and luckily we were able to get a really big fish and do the whole 100 acres.
They wanted a bottling plant that would be a springboard to the East Coast, where most of their customers are. So that was working in our favor. We also had a very important incentive package that not only helped create the jobs, but there's also a give back and a payback on the part of that company, where they've agreed to make sure that their workforce reflects the community that they live in. And to me, it's important that whenever a community invests in a company like Aurora Dairy, that everybody in our community benefits from it.
Basically, you have to look at all the implications and make sure that you're getting more than you're giving up. And obviously, in this case, we are. This company checked all the boxes. We do our due diligence. The Missouri Partnership does their due diligence, and just a good quality company. I had the opportunity to go visit the plant during the recruitment process and see their processing facility in Colorado, and you can just see the camaraderie of the people working at the plant. We just felt like we've got a good quality company coming into Columbia.
It's companies like Aurora Dairy that we have clear expectations for the number of jobs they're going to create, both in terms of the high wages that we expect, the career supporting, family supporting jobs that are created, but with a clear penalty that if they don't create those jobs, there's no taxpayer money at risk. And I'm very proud of the package that was put together.
They have to make, I think it's close to $100 million investment before they get anything. And if they build that, no company's going to walk away from that. And so we're very confident they're going to be very successful. And you can see what they've built already in such a short period of time.
These plants are very capital intensive. You can't move this plant once it's up. So there's a lot of due diligence on the front end on where to put it, and they want to make sure that they're happy in that community and they will stay for a long time. And that's what we're looking forward to, is a long-term relationship with the company. We've had companies come in and take empty buildings or vacated buildings, but for a company to make a commitment on a greenfield site from scratch like this company did is a big benefit. So the first thing is capital investment. This first phase of the project is about $110 million or more of capital investment. And then in the next several years, they'll be making additional investments as the plant grows. And then obviously there's the jobs. By this time next year, they expect to have anywhere from 90 to 100 jobs, and in 3 to 5 years, about 150 jobs at the plant. So in addition to the investment in the jobs, there's tax implications for Columbia and Boone County. There's significant property taxes that are paid that go to the city, the county, the school district, and the taxing districts. But also, there's a lot of talk lately about sales tax. So this company will pay sales tax on electric and water and natural gas used in the process. And they also pay what's called a gross receipts tax, which is pretty substantial, and that goes all to the city. So having a company here, in addition to the jobs and the investment, it also brings some other revenues into the city for operations.
This is not your old-fashioned assembly line bottling plant. This is high-tech manufacturing. A lot of it is computer-driven. Not only are they bottling milk here, they're also making the bottles. And when this plant is fully operational, there will be 100 dairy trucks coming through that 63 I-70 intersection every day. That's going to have a dramatic impact on our economy. It is going to have a ripple effect on the jobs that are created, and it's exactly the type of high-tech manufacturing jobs that we not only want to create in Columbia, but it's the family-supporting, career-making jobs that give those new employees the training they need, that they can take it anywhere, whether that's our manufacturing corridor here in Columbia or continue to work their way up in Aurora Dairy.
A diverse economy is a good thing. You take one sector, for example, the university. It's had a few down years, but it's coming back. Manufacturing has had some down years. We lost 2,000 manufacturing jobs over a 10-year period, which is pretty significant in Columbia. So this kind of brings the manufacturing base back. You just don't want to be one-dimensional, because when that single sector would go bad, your economy really suffers. Columbia's been pretty stable. We're always 1.5%, 2% below the national average and the state average in unemployment, and I think that's due to our diverse economy.
This is truly a win-win-win scenario. We're all getting something from it. The taxpayer's really not on the hook for much, and the net gain is huge. What we're doing is not charging some of the taxes as a county that we would have if it would have happened otherwise. But the truth is, it wouldn't have happened otherwise. They would not have chosen us if we didn't outcompete other places that said, we'll do this for you. That's the nature of economic development, that they're hiring local folks. They're going to pay great wages to our people, so it's a terrific win.
So there's 100 acres out there which allow them to expand over the next 20, 25, 30 years, and I think they'll be here for the long term, like the other manufacturers we have in town.
I'm very optimistic about Columbia's future. It's projects like Aurora Dairy that really put Columbia on the map, that we're a good place to do business, and that when companies want to expand or relocate, it's now on the top of people's list to consider Columbia, Missouri.